Ali.
Hi dear.
Hi.
Hi.
It's so exciting to introduce you to LoveRose Talks, and I'm just going to quickly introduce you as Ali Clarke, a cancer sports specialist at Maggie Centres. And so I'd love if you could just kind of tell the viewers what you do at Maggie's and what Maggie's is and how they can get involved.
Yes, sure. So Maggie's is a cancer support centre that's a drop-in centre where we welcome people who are not just going through cancer, but actually family members and friends are very welcome too to come for support. We're made up with a team. I'm one of 4 of the nurse specialists that work there, and we also have 2 psychologists, a benefits advisor and a fundraising team, as well as sessional staff like nutrition experts, and Tai Chi instructors, art therapists, etc. So we welcome people through the door. Maybe people have come over from clinic, a recent diagnosis. So a kind of typical day might be that volunteers welcome somebody in the door with a warm smile, and then one of us comes to speak with somebody and kind of work out where they're at and how we can help them. So we do things like one-to-one support, but we also do courses, relaxation classes, workshops, things like that.
So, so some of our models obviously have been through your doors, and everyone has had a fantastic experience. And I think one of the things that's really key is that, as you say, it's not just for the people who are actually having the treatment or about to have the treatment, but it is for their families and friends as well, so that they can go in and kind of understand perhaps a little bit of the journey and how to kind of go through it with their loved one or their friend, and how to support and whatever. What kind of courses do you have that would kind of like facilitate a family member? What's on offer for
sure. So one of the courses that I take is I take like an introduction to treatment course. So I take a session where we bring 6 people who are starting treatment plus family into a session. We talk about things like what chemotherapy or immunotherapy are, how the person's going to feel, side effects, etc., but also how they can be supported. So it's very much sometimes a very first introduction into Maggie's when someone comes to a course like that, but it's also introducing their family to that course too.
It's really scary, isn't it? You know, for
absolutely.
like everybody involved.
Yeah, and people when they come in feel really anxious and quite overwhelmed, and the point of us doing that before they start treatment is actually to make it a bit more informal. And also, one of the things that we say always is, there's no such thing as a silly question. So when people are coming for a session to find out, say, about chemotherapy, wee things like, okay, if I'm hooked up to a drip all day, how do I get to the toilet? Things like that, that they were maybe terrified to ask at clinic, but actually, so we kind of hopefully put we test a lot of the fears that people have about starting treatment, but also for us at Maggie's, it's a nice introduction that actually what we're also saying is we're giving you this information, but actually we're also here to support you all. And our benefits advisor comes to that session too, and then she kind of informally then goes round and speaks with everybody to see if there's a way that she can help. And actually often people are really embarrassed to, they've never navigated the benefits system before. They might run their own business or be working, and so she attends that session too, and she is there on hand, just in a really, really informal way for her to be able to, to kind of help them to navigate. I suppose what we're trying to do in that session is make what probably feels really overwhelming into something that feels a bit more manageable, and give people tips that they can do themselves while they're going through treatment to try and keep themselves well. So kind of helping them to feel a bit more empowered, because a lot of them talk about how it all just feels out of their control.
So you also do a lot of, say, post-treatment, you do a lot of courses that are just about well-being and getting your life back together, confidence building.
What we do is we bring people together who've finished treatment, and it doesn't necessarily need to be people who have a curative intent. It could be people who've finished their treatment, but with a non-curable type of cancer. So it's not specific to that, and it's not specific to a cancer type either. So it can be all different types of cancer that people have had treatment for. And I take the ladies' version of it, as I said, and we split it just because we talk a lot about intimate things as well as, really quite private things for ladies. So we look at the emotional impact of what people have been through. Often it's described as being in like a long drawn slow car crash and getting out the car and thinking, why do I not feel okay? And what we find is people come into the centre all the time and they say things like, I finished my treatment a few weeks ago, and why am I not feeling better?
Yeah, the journey often starts, doesn't it, for real life after.
Definitely. Definitely, it's a transition, I guess, isn't it? You can't just ping back to normal after going through something traumatic that's maybe lasted for about a year of treatment.
Not to go into your sales, and usually, like when you are going through treatment, you have a plan, and but after you're kind of left and you're thinking, what now?
Yeah, and you're sort of left to your own devices a bit more, I guess, as well. It's not so directed.
Yeah.
That's brilliant, Ali. So tell us a little bit about your bra fitting service that you have with Diana.
She comes and they do a bra fitting service for people post-surgery every fortnight. In fact, in this room that we're sitting in just now, and obviously with screens up over the window. And it's Buchanan Orthotics that she works for, and so they're the company that the NHS, I think, have chosen for the contract to do that. But actually it ties in really well, because a lot of the women who come for a bra fitting service haven't ever stepped inside a Maggies centre, which is a wee bit crazy that, because all the oncology teams all say to them to come over, but sometimes that's just the way it is. But what's been really lovely, it's quite a real sort of two-way relationship, that these ladies come in for a bra fitting and then they say, all right, this is what Maggies is, and then sometimes engage in some of the programme, or just know that when they're coming up for their checkup they can come over here and come and sort of maybe kind of sort of debrief a wee bit after their checkups and things like that. So I mean it works really well. I think we've been doing it now for certainly more than a year anyway. It might even be 2 years.
But obviously, 2020, Ali, you've taken a hit with your charity, and so what kind of things are you doing, and how can people help Maggies now when a lot of your fundraising activities have been hold? What are you guys doing to kind of support that?
Sort of adapt. Well, it's been amazing actually how, 1 minute we were all face to face in the centre, and the next minute like an entire support system went online, people like me had to learn Zoom. And but actually our fundraising team have been working really hard. There's been quite a few campaigns that have been ongoing throughout the whole time of lockdown. There's been like different challenges that have happened, and even things like our normally we have a big ladies lunch event during the year. We also normally have the culture crawl, and we have and now a carol concert every Christmas. So it's been amazing actually how much our fundraising team have had to adapt, and it's been amazing actually how many people have come forward to try and help and give support with that. So we're quite overwhelmed. Yes, the charity's definitely taken a hit, and unfortunately we had to furlough staff over the last few months. And I'm happy to say we are all back as a team, which
That's
is
great.
fantastic.
So you're welcoming people back into the centre.
Well, we are, but we can only welcome people back into the centre at the moment by appointment.
Right.
And
Okay.
the reason for that is just so that we have a number of people who are going to be in the centre, and that there's enough space to do 2-metre distancing. And so we're just trying to keep it as safe as possible for people coming in to the centre at the moment. But
of course,
absolutely,
because they're so vulnerable as well. You know,
yeah.
immune systems maybe a little bit attacked already. So
And so is that the best way that people can engage with Maggies at the moment?
So at the moment, we are actually supporting lots of people either online or on the phone.
Right.
So we're also, so in lockdown, actually, we still supported as many people as we would normally support coming into the centre, which is quite crazy, really, to think. A lot of that was either on the phone or on groups on Zoom. So, and even the Wear Now course that we spoke about earlier, I've done 3 of them in lockdown on Zoom.
Have
Yeah. And we've taken
fun.
and we've taken stress management courses on Zoom. We've got network groups on Zoom. So in actual fact, there's a lot of online stuff happening, but also we're seeing people as one-to-one as well. But also we've got quite a full diary of phone calls. So we're still supporting as many people, which is brilliant. But we're just obviously having to adapt in lots of different ways, as is everybody at the moment, you know. So
well, Ali, it's an absolute pleasure speaking to you. Maggie's is a fantastic resource for anybody going through treatment, about to go through treatment, and I absolutely, you know, have loved kind of getting to know you guys, and you have been fantastic, and you know, I hope that everything continues on and people get as much help as they possibly can from you and use you there, because you are there to for them. And so thank you so much for
thank you.
to us today.
Thank you also for creating such a wonderful product that actually people who use the centre, we will be encouraging them to come your way, because actually for one of the things that people talk about is they want to feel like a woman again, and actually your beautiful lingerie will certainly help them to do that. So thank you, and it's been a pleasure to come on, so thank you for having me.
Well, that's why we chose Maggie's as well as our charity. So like a percentage of our sales and profits will go to Maggie's at the end of our financial year. So we're more than happy, because we feel really strongly about your resource. So
Thank you. Thanks very much for having me today. Lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, bye. Bye.